Okay, you want to do yours here?
Yeah, we're gonna go in my organization in law enforcement at the police department I work at. Right now we have a lot of new hires coming in. Ben, you're gonna be one of them. Um, and you are just now getting off of your field training program, which means you just graduated the academy and now you passed your patrol training and now you will be on your own. Um, you're on a probationary period after a year. Now you're not at will anymore, whatever, but you're in that probationary period. So you're brand new, you're a new guy, and you're learning the culture of the department that we're trying to reshape, right? So we're kind of in a rebuild, we're kind of rehiring, or just hiring a bunch of people, and we need to get our culture right. And that starts with our value of how we do our job. And that looks like our slogan, which we have on all of our units and our cars, it's dedicated to service. So this really encompasses like well, maybe I should save it for the role play. But you get
Yeah.
your sweet. Okay, cool. It's very
hmm
similar. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll get right into it. Cool. So how's it going, Ben? So happy you're able to make it. I'm thrilled to see you here. You just made it off training. What an accomplishment
hmm
that is. Um, it takes a lot to get to where you're at. So pat yourself on the back, be proud, and look forward to what we have coming up for you. Okay. I
hmm
know that you have just now finished your training. Um, well, moving forward, now that you know how to do the basics of your job, you'll be learning something new every day. But what's important in doing that and learning more and carrying this job out is making sure that we're back on our foundation, right? The foundation and the idea of being dedicated to service. It's very important for us here in our community, just so we can do our job effectively for the people we serve each and every day, right? Um, so everything you do, I want to just give you a good, um, you know, encompassing, generalized view of what each call should look like, right? You should be prioritizing the member, or sorry, um, the victim, the witnesses, also showing respect to, those that, we might be arresting and whatnot, just like, you have been. Um, but truly, what dedicated to service means is seeing things through, not cutting any corners, and being truly committed to helping those who call us, right? Now, something that I've been told as I came up in this organization is um, treat them like the people you interact with, treat them like your family, right? You want to provide them a service that they will remember in the best way possible because when we show up, it's probably going to be somebody's worst day, right? Or one of them. So it's important that we are able to carry out this commitment to them and providing them the services they need. Okay.
hmm
Um, so what that looks like for you, this could look like slowing things down, right? As there's a bunch of different calls to handle. There's calls holding. Are different than others. Maybe a priority one call versus like a priority three call. But nonetheless, the expectation here is for you to still do your job the same, right? So you're committed to them. You want to follow up with them. You want to make them feel respected and give them the time that they need. Uh, because their problem might not feel as big as the next problem, or it might not be as big as the next holding call, but to them it is, right? And if you just blow them off of that or cut corners, then we haven't done our job right.
hmm
Um, so with that, I mean, I know that it can be tricky being in your position. You're on probation now. Um, you already feel like you're on thin ice because you have to do so many things right, and you don't want to get in trouble. Well, it's gonna happen, but naturally, you're going to want to follow up with your partners and your supervisors and um, personally stay grounded with our values here. Okay. Does that make sense to you? And if not, what are your questions?
Yeah, that I really like that. I mean, that's why I wanted to be an officer is to help people and to know that I wasn't just gonna be, rushed into the next thing before I've been able to take care of the first situation. So I guess most of my concern is just with this probation period. maybe like how much does it change after I'm through this period, and like while I'm in it, how strongly are those things being measured? Like, if I take too long on a call, like what kind of trouble can I get in? Like what does that kind of look like?
Yeah. From my perspective, and the culture that we're trying to contribute to here is truly just the quality of service, right? Now, obviously, if you're dealing with somebody who just got their scooter stolen, but they got it back and they just need some to finish the report and a shooting goes out, of course, you know, it's not very black and white. And you'll know what to do when that moment comes. But in your position, something you should always ask yourself that will help you follow up with being dedicated to service and the community is, am I doing the right thing? Is this how I would want my family treated? Is this how I would want services provided to me? And if you can ask yourself those questions, your actions will follow, right? You will end up doing everything. You will end up providing the right quality service. You will end up making them, whoever is in need of help, no matter how big or small that problem is, feel reassured and safe. Okay. They will remember these interactions as something that is positive to them, um, and that we are there for them. So, dealing with what's too long on a call or what does it look like after probation? Well, after probation, it should stay the same, right? Um, it might be at the forefront of your mind as you become accustomed to our culture because you'll be practicing it in and out and you're going to be understanding it and what that looks like. So I understand that. But that's, as you know, that it's our goal to keep these values and these principles alive and well. And it's something we want to be known about. It's something that we want to know ourselves in. And we have started to, and it feels great. And I know that it's obviously pulled you in as a new hire, and it's something that, you see in us, which is amazing. And now it's just your turn to contribute to it. Okay. But as far as the time management on the calls, um, you will take as long as you need to handle whatever it is. I've taken a cold burglary report in about an hour and a half, and some I've taken 2.5 hours just because maybe somebody lost some valuable items or some sensitive incident comes up in the midst of that. And our job is not always give me the facts, I'll take the report and I'll put it in the system. Sometimes it's like we are here for you and you need to know that. And you will know that by my commitment to this service that you need. Um, and that goes for every call, right? Some more than others, but it's in and of itself hard enough, right? So if you take the robot out of it, you take the black and white out of it, and you just remember like, hey, I'm a person, I have family, this is somebody's family, and you treat them like that, then you'll follow up with what we were really about here.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really good. I think that my yeah, I think that the thing that just maybe just makes me nervous because I just haven't experienced it yet, I guess, is just that, once the review comes in of my work, like how it will be seen. But that feels good to know that that's like it's goal and principle focused more so than just like a metrics thing, it sounds
Mhm.
like. I'm curious now because you mentioned like it's at the forefront of my mind now, and it definitely will be. In your experience, does it kind of fade over time? Is it easy to drift from that goal over time as you're kind of getting used to the role?
I don't think I ever drift from the goal. I think I just become way more aligned with it, and it's just become second nature, right?
Mm,
Uh, Not only, does it become second nature, it's what we want to, represent ourselves as and provide a service to, but when you know you're doing the right thing, you wouldn't want to do it any other way, right? And
hmm.
just dedicated to service encompasses way more than just those few words, Um, and you'll never get in trouble about doing the right thing, even if it takes a little longer or even if it is a little different than you're used to. You know how to do your job, and that's why you're in this position now, and you've earned it. And now you're kind of tailoring it to what we stand for here. And you'll never, just speaking on the fact that of your nervousness, it's totally natural. I get it, but I want to reassure you that you'll never be, in trouble or slapped on the hand for doing quality service because that's
Hmm.
what it's about.
That's really good. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if there's any other question I can think of, it might just be like, what do you see when an officer comes in, like in this stage that I'm in right now? What's the number one thing you see them doing that later on you know that person's successful? They're going to be great at doing this.
Yeah, I think one thing that like a successful characteristic that is aligned with our principle and values is, uh, funny enough, taking your time, right? Take your time with handling your calls, um, respecting the pending calls, but you're not rushing through because mistakes happen when people rush. Mistakes happen when people cut corners. I've done that. You will too, and you will learn, and you will grow, and then you will see, what is successful, what feels good, what is needed of me for these people that we're serving. So just positive characteristics, always being a team guy. And that doesn't mean just to the guys wearing patches and badges like me and you. It's being team with the fire department. It's being team with witnesses. It's being a team with, victims and working on statements, getting information and working as one, creating a community in that, being dedicated to them, you know. Um, in addition to just having good teamwork as a probationer, um, once again, just taking your time, right? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. That's a saying we say. But it goes like, hey, it's smooth is quality, right? There's no
Hmm.
bumps. So there's less bumps. So take your time and don't be afraid to ask questions and be eager to learn. Be eager to um, try new things, experience new things and get out there, right? It was difficult about our job is the never-ending possibilities of what we could be responding to. And like,
Hmm.
well, I had dedicated a service down with this call, but this one, how do I do that? Well,
Mm.
you know, it's going to come with time and experience, and you must have grace with yourself for that.
Hmm.
As you learn that process and ask questions and kind of follow suit with your partners that who have more experience than you and whatnot. But you're in a great position to do some really good work, and you know, just want to kind of really leave this imprinted on you is like just always do the right thing, right? Treat them as your loved ones.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, it's it's easy sometimes to think that like, if a slogan's printed everywhere that it's just like, oh, that's just there, it's just a sticker or a brand, but that's not really it really feels like that's the actual culture. And so that I feel I feel like just kind of like a satisfaction in knowing that and hearing that from you that that's going to be the focus. So, yeah, I know I'll definitely be making a mistake or two, and so I appreciate the support and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started.
Of course. Yeah, and do you have any questions? Does that make sense to you? I know it can be a little um overwhelming looking at the larger, greater, bigger picture to come, but you'll figure that out. But do you have any questions or do you need any more clarification on anything about our values and what our goals are here?
Yeah, honestly, the goals make sense. I think I'm just gonna need to, just run into it headlong. I'm gonna
Just
have to
got to do
figure
it.
out.
Yep.
Yeah, I just gotta figure it out along the way.
Nothing to it but to do it.
Mhm.
So, okay, Ben, well, you'll do great and we'll check in. Okay. So, with that said, thank you and we'll cut
Thank
this
you.
thing up. Cool.
And scene. All right. Yeah, that was really good. I thought you really kind of established and you were able to come from multiple angles of like there's reasons why it's hard, like why this goal is hard, but here's why we do it.
Mhm.
I liked when you mentioned the like, oh, I was great on service on this call, but what am I going to do on this call? It's a completely different situation.
Mhm.
Um, I think that adding that, just like adding that specific thing, like it might make me nervous as a new recruit to hear that, oh shoot, like that's gonna be something I encounter. Really think that it's helpful to just know that out of the gate and to kind of mentally prepare for it. And so that's good you brought that up. I'm also glad you mentioned this slow is smooth and smooth is fast because I heard that on a TikTok from a
Oh, really?
firefighter one time, and I was like, that's the best thing ever. And so I've
Yeah.
been using that whenever I train people in my job.
Yeah. It's
Um,
so true.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to think of feedback I could give you on it. Yeah, a lot of effective pieces. I can tell that you care about it and you know about it too, and you have good experience with it. I might just say like kind of just like the same thing that mine was just maybe asking the more probing questions at the front end, kind of get at the heart of like what is your real question, which I know in a role play like this is like we're just kind of acting out a role that I might not actually have a better question than what I even just
Right, right.
asked.
Yeah.
But in a live situation, that might be more helpful just to pin down like what exactly is your trepidation and what exactly is the question so I can answer it most directly kind of a thing. Which I think you did a good job of anticipating like, yeah, he's thinking about this. Yeah, I know I've been there. So here's, what I worked through and how I understand it now. And so um yeah, I
Cool.
that's probably the only thing I could think of is just that. I feel like the goal is really clear. I don't feel like you were being all too wordy either, honestly.
Okay, good.
I
I
think
definitely was like,
there's,
oh, I'm getting way too wordy and like jumping.
yeah, I
It's good
think
even
it's
even like that.
toward the end, I think there's some points where it's like, yeah, he's mentioned this one before and he's saying it again,
Yeah.
which isn't the worst thing because it's if that's it, because the things you were saying weren't just like the same thing that weren't really relevant. It was
It
the
was the
mission.
point. Yeah,
It was the
exactly.
point, right? And
Yeah.
coming back to that, I don't think is a bad thing. And some people need that, especially because that's how they'll process it. And so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think it was effective. I mean, I feel like I personally myself, I don't think I could ever do police officering. So I appreciate the work you do.
Thank
And it's very needed. Um, but if I was in that role and I felt like I could do that kind of a thing, yeah, I feel like I want to work for you and work for your
you.
department 100%. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
definitely.
Cool. Well,
Okay.
oh,
Well,
oh,
I'll end the recording here. I think we can kind of game plan the way we'll do the assignment from here, but I'll end the recording now.